What is going on, guys? This is All Gaming with my review of Log Horizon Episode 11. And this episode, like always in this anime, it was very informative. I definitely like how they go into so much detail and we get so much information, in all these episodes. So it starts off with these two people of the land hunting, and they mention an adventurer that was able to cross this mountain while humming. And I'm wondering, like, who are they talking about? Like, maybe that is foreshadowing, some character. Because I'm definitely curious about who that could be. But we see that when I'm guessing the parent, when he was about to kill a deer, we see like this black fog or mass spreading across the land, and I'm wondering like what is that? Like maybe it's gonna be some kind of plague or something that is to kill these these players that are now trapped in here, because I'm pretty sure that right there is going to play a much bigger role, and this right here which is the start of it. But now we have no idea what happened to those people, but I'm guessing that that black mass was definitely not a good sign. And so then we actually cut to Nyanta. And speaking of Nyanta, I definitely like a character a lot, but I'm wondering, like, where are the other cat people? Like, how come he's the only one of this race that we have seen so far? Because we have seen, like, a fox guy, but he still look, he definitely look more human than Nyanta. So why is Nyanta the only, like, cat person that we have seen so far? Because I definitely like his character, and I want to see like more players pick this race, because I think it would be a lot more interesting. But he was out doing some shopping, and he came across this bathhouse, which I'm pretty sure somebody built, because I don't think that was there before. But we see that the Akihabara, I think that's what it's called. We see now that it's definitely a lot more lively than ever, because we have all these people doing so much. Like we see like in we saw like some kind of dock open. We see people are now cooking food using the real world methods. And so it's definitely nice to see that this place is picked back up, because it was kind of depressing to see all these players, like, even though they were trapped in the game, it was like they weren't having fun. But now that has definitely changed. And then we have Shiro, who was in his office, you could say, doing some paperwork. And we have Nyanta that was saying that he should go out and take a break, because he actually did look pretty tired. And he was trying to see, what could he use his subclass scribe for, because we have seen all the other classes, to be proven to be pretty helpful. So his definitely, should have a greater purpose as well. But we have Minori and Toya. They were out there training against some plant monsters, and I don't know why I feel like the samurai class is actually like a bit of a letdown, because we see after Toya used one of his skills, he was paralyzed, and he had to be saved by Natsugo and Akatsuki. So I do find it like a little bit disappointing that the samurai class, it kind of has like a very slow cooldown, and there's a risk that you get paralyzed. And it seems that the samurai is the class that we have seen get the biggest handicap so far. But now we have these people of the land. They were coming. We had like this one guy that worked for the royalty, and he was coming to deliver a message to Shiro and the Round Table Council. But then we have Hironetta that actually contacted everybody in Log Horizon for help, because Marie, she actually wanted to have fun and go to the beach and eat some food, because it was summertime and she was so tired of working. And so now the council got together, and I noticed that the Silver Swords, they were back. Now I'm not sure if that was some like animation fail, or they actually did come around and accept the conditions, because I definitely know that they walked out, but I'm pretty sure that we saw the leader there. So this council, like they are going to this meeting, and they had to pick members to go. And because Krusty, the leader of D.D.D, he is the representative of the council, he had to go. And so I forgot his name, but he was the leader of the Cabinet of the West, and he was saying that somebody of the Merchant Guild should also go, and so they did rock paper scissors. And when that one guy lost, like even though he was so upset that he was crying, I was actually laughing. And Marie actually, got lucky because I think people wanted her to go, but she actually leading this training camp that they're having for these low level players, so she couldn't go. And then everybody, turned attention to Shiro because he was good with like analyzing stuff, so he had to go. He was like basically forced into it. And so now, like all these guilds, they were talking about having this training camp for these low level players, and I think the level cap was was level 40. So if you're like 40 and below, you could definitely attend this camp. And so we have Minori Toya. I believe you say his name, Randall House Code. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name, right or wrong. But this guy is like so full of himself. But he's a pretty funny character. I definitely like his interaction with Toya. Like the way they go back and forth. That right there was definitely some comedy go. I was laughing at that part. But I do wonder, like, where did this, come from? Because I don't think that this guy was like forced into that other guild. So I wonder, like, why do him and Toya go back and forth like this? And we also saw this character, I believe her name was Isuzu. She's also going to this camp. But Akatsuki and Hironetta, they are going with Shiro to the meeting, or whatever you want to call it. And earlier we saw that Hironetta actually bought this dress for Akatsuki, and she actually took it with her as well. Like, I don't know why. I really don't know why she is so obsessed with Akatsuki. It is getting like a little bit creepy because she goes through like all these extremes, just to be with her. But once they go to the place where the training camp is going down, it's like an abandoned school because we see that it's like covered with moss. But Shiro gave a very important mission to Marie to go around and like interact with the people of the land and like learn as much as they can. Because these people, like, since they had come back into this game, these people have changed. Because normally there'll be a quest that you could get from them where you'll get rewarded with a magic bag. But because they have changed, all these new players will never get that quest, so they can never get this magic bag. I want to say that this magic bag could be important is because maybe it can hold an endless amount of items. But that right there, it's just me like taking a guess at that, like why something like that would be so important. But we have Marie and Minori. They're kind of like bonding because they were like walking together. And after they were done, Marie finally was able to go to the beach, and we just see like all these characters having fun. And then we have Rundle House. He was acting like he was gonna do some real swimming, but as soon as he put his toe in the water, he like chickened out. So that right there, was also pretty funny. And so at the end, they finally arrived at this place called the Palace of Eternal Ice, and the animation for that, it was quite beautiful. That place definitely looked amazing. I would love to go to a place like that because it definitely caught my eye and it deserves its name. So there was this dance that was going on that they all had to attend, where they were greeted by the leader of the Easter Land, I think is what they called it, and I believe his name was like Sir Suriate Crown, and then he had his granddaughter who's a princess, but at the end, she was just like making her appearance. But I'm really curious to see what like Shiro would think of her. But these people of the land, like, they are definitely, very cautious because we can see that during the party, they were not talking to the players at all. They were like talking among themselves, but they had the rise on the player. So they're trying to like learn as much about these adventurers as they can, while only revealing a little bit about themselves. But I do wonder because like they were saying that when people of the land die, that they die for good. But what if now that's different? I could definitely see like a war happening where like things are definitely changed up. But now we have Akatsuki and Nasugo, and I believe there was somebody else there, but they were planning on taking these players. Oh, and it was Nayanta. They were planning on taking these players into a dungeon, but they only chose Minori, Toya, Rundle House, and Ishizu. They only chose those four. And to me, I'm like really curious because I know this is like a training camp for everybody, but how come you're like picking those four? Like maybe they're all going to like different dungeons with, you know, these trainers, because that could be the only way that I see that they keep it fair, because they definitely want to help out, like, you know, all these players. And it's definitely cute that that Minori had this little notepad about these tips that Shiro gave her. Oh, and earlier we saw, well, you know, it's pretty obvious that Sewara is in love with Nayanta, because when he said that he was going to add a trainer, she had all the hearts around her, and she was blushing like crazy. But I do wonder though, has like Nayanta picked up on that? Because I believe that if she was older, that I could definitely see them, you know, becoming a couple. But, you know, sadly she only like a little kid, so I doubt it will happen. But yeah, like I was saying, this episode, it was really good. I am definitely looking forward to see like what the player do in a dungeon, because I do want them to get better. I want to see what the samurai class can really do, because I have faith in it. I want to see it, you know, do a lot better in this series. But as always, guys, please do not forget to like the video and subscribe, because that really helps me out. But as always, you guys take it easy, and I'll see you all next time.